The world is shifting. Beneath the surface of all that appears to be chaos, division, and discord, there is an energy rising, an energy of awakening, of expansion, of clarity. It is the energy of alignment, the movement of consciousness toward unity. And no force that seeks to divide can ultimately succeed in an era where the very vibration of the planet is calling for connection. Segregation, in all its forms, is a construct of the past, a relic of lower vibrational thinking that cannot sustain itself in a world where more and more people are remembering who they truly are. The spirit of separation is an unnatural force, a distortion of truth, and in this time of awakening, it will be met with an equal and opposite force, the spirit of unity. For far too long, humanity has operated under the illusion of division. Lines have been drawn, boundaries have been enforced, and identities have been weaponized in an attempt to categorize, control, and separate. But separation is an illusion, a distortion of the natural state of existence. At the core of all things is oneness, an interconnected field of energy where nothing is truly apart from anything else. The universe is not a fragmented collection of random occurrences. It is a symphony, a perfectly synchronized dance of vibration where all things respond to the energy they are met with. And now, the energy of awakening is rising so powerfully that it is disrupting every structure built on separation. What manifests in the physical world is always a reflection of the dominant frequency being broadcasted. In the past, the energy of fear, scarcity, and control allowed systems of segregation to thrive because those who lived within them were unaware of their own vibrational power. People accepted limitation because they believed it was the only way to exist. They allowed themselves to be told who they were, what they could have, and where they belonged. But awakening shifts everything. As more people begin to understand their own alignment with Source, as they recognize their power as creators of reality, they stop feeding energy into the old structures that divide, and what is not fed must eventually wither. The energy of unity is growing because more people are reaching for joy, for connection, for higher consciousness, and in doing so, they naturally dissolve the energies that no longer serve. No government, no system, no ideology can enforce division when people stop aligning with the frequency of separation. The natural momentum of the universe favors expansion, and expansion means inclusivity, not restriction. Separation is a low-frequency vibration. It is rooted in the idea that one must protect oneself from the other, that survival depends on division, that differences must be emphasized and reinforced. But these are all distortions, falsehoods perpetuated by those who have benefited from keeping humanity in a state of conflict. When you are in alignment with your Source, you do not fear differences, you celebrate them. You do not seek to divide, you seek to connect. You do not view others as competition, you recognize them as reflections of yourself. And because more people are coming into this realization, segregation is on a path to inevitable failure. The spirit of separation can no longer sustain itself because it is being met with something far more powerful, the remembering of unity. This is not just a social or political shift. This is an energetic event, a recalibration of frequency on a planetary level. There is a reason why attempts to divide are becoming more aggressive, more desperate. It is because the energy of unity is rising at such an accelerated pace that those who thrive on separation feel their grip slipping. The structures they have built for generations are crumbling because they can no longer find the energetic support they once had. Fear is losing its power. Mistrust is losing its hold. And those who once accepted division as an unchangeable reality are beginning to see through the illusion. It is important to understand that nothing can manifest without energetic alignment. Segregation is not just a set of rules or a political stance. It is a frequency, a vibrational state of being. It can only exist where the energy of disconnection is dominant. But when a consciousness awakens to its own wholeness, when individuals begin to operate from a space of inner unity, they can no longer be controlled by external narratives of division. Their very vibration repels separation. They move through the world differently, interact with others differently, and most importantly, create differently. They no longer create from fear, from lack, from the need to control. Instead, they create from love, from abundance, from the understanding that all things are connected. This is why segregation will fail. It is not aligned with the new energy that is emerging. The more people become conscious of their true nature, the more they demand experiences that reflect that nature. They are no longer satisfied with limitations, with restrictions, with narratives that tell them they must stay in their designated place. They are recognizing their freedom, their expansiveness. And with that realization comes a natural rejection of anything that tries to confine them. The systems of separation cannot hold when the people they seek to divide no longer vibrate at the frequency of division. The energy of awakening is not something that can be reversed. Once an individual has experienced the feeling of alignment, of true connection, they do not go back to the old ways of thinking. They do not retreat into fear, into hatred, into the belief that they must separate themselves in order to thrive. Instead, they become powerful anchors of unity, living examples of what it means to transcend the illusions of the past. And as they hold that frequency, they inspire others to do the same. This is how the world changes, not through force, not through struggle, but through the undeniable power of vibration. There will be those who resist. There will be those who cling to the old energy, who attempt to reinforce the structures of separation with greater intensity. But their efforts will not last. The universal law is clear. What is not aligned with the dominant vibration cannot endure. And the dominant vibration is shifting. Love is expanding. Consciousness is rising. The spirit of unity is growing stronger, and with it comes the inevitable collapse of anything that does not resonate with its frequency. We are living in a time of extraordinary transformation. The energy of the planet is changing, and with it, everything that is not in harmony with truth is being brought to light. Segregation, division, separation, these are relics of an old paradigm, and they will not survive in the presence of awakening. The spirit of separation will be met, matched, and ultimately overpowered by the spirit of unity, because unity is the natural state of existence. It is the foundation of all things, the essence of all creation, and no illusion, no matter how deeply ingrained, can stand against the force of truth. The failure of segregation is not just a possibility, it is a certainty. The energy that once sustained it is dissolving, and in its place, a new world is emerging. One built on connection, on understanding, on the knowing that we are all one. The choice is simple: align with the rising energy of unity or struggle against an inevitable shift. But no matter the resistance, the outcome is already set. The energy of awakening is here, and with it comes the end of separation. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe so that more people can awaken to this truth. Your voice is powerful, and every time you engage, you amplify the energy of unity. Let's continue to raise the vibration together. To my melanated brothers and sisters, know this: what you are witnessing, what you may be experiencing, is not the rise of separation, but its last desperate attempt to hold on. The forces that once thrived on division are losing their grip, and their final acts of resistance are nothing more than the shadows cast by a collapsing system. They cannot stop what has already begun. Their time is up, and the energy they have put out will return to them because the universe is just. Stand firm in your knowing. Align with the truth of who you are. The spirit of unity is rising, and no illusion of separation can withstand its power.